G'day guys, it's Mark here and welcome back to Iron Empire. Now in this episode, we're going to take a look at the coolest fleet of work vehicles in Adelaide. Now let's get inside and meet Phil, the owner, and he's going to tell us all about this amazing fleet. Okay guys, so here we are at Australian Press Metal. Phil is going to take us through this incredible fleet, probably what you're well known for. I think if I speak to anyone in the trade that gets around Adelaide, they know your trucks.
Absolutely.
So this is Phil, everyone, and yeah, he's going to give us a rundown on this amazing fleet. So
thanks, Mark. Look, everybody knows me by the trucks here in South Australia, even though a few of them gone interstate because we've got shops interstate now. Yeah. My fascination with Bedfords was I did my apprenticeship. I wanted an FJU. Couldn't afford it, but the Bedfords were what was the in thing at the time. I did my apprenticeship around the corner at Woolbay Lime. They had about 10 or 15 of the different Bedfords from J1s to J5s. I fell in love with the J1s to J3s because you didn't need a special license to drive them. Yeah. So I did my first one up, and with the ceiling side of it, they were red. Everybody knew me. I did a job. A guy had two there, one in a river, one which he was using as a tipper. He said, if you do the job, I'll give you both trucks.
Yeah.
And
you
then
got sucked in.
Sucked in, and then, you know, obviously, for the rest of my life, all 40 years in business, that's all I've done.
Nice.
However, after 10, 12 years of driving around with the original motors and gearbox,
yep.
Obviously, it doesn't work. Couldn't get parts, can't get water pumps. The head bolts, when you tighten them down, they stretch, you can't buy them. So we made a decision that we'd turn them all onto LPG gas. Yep. We recycle them, we repurpose them, reuse them, you know, the 5Rs. And we picked the Holden VN or VP
yep.
Commodore because I don't need a computer if I'm running them on gas.
Yep.
I had a hydraulic gearbox, so I don't need the computer again.
Still got a distributor,
yeah.
Carby on it.
And then of course, you can get lots of them,
yep.
and parts are easily available. So the first one took a while to nut it out, to get the gearing right and everything like that. And since then, you know, at the height of it, I think I had 9.
Right.
I'm currently running 7.
Yep.
And they're all different colours.
Yep.
So the red was for the ceiling side of it, the black was for the press metal side of it. This lovely yellow one was left to me in a will. A builder passed away, and I had done this truck up, I think in 1990 for him.
Yep.
And I've been cleaning up since. This one's about to get a new transplant.
Yep.
In the next couple of weeks. The orange one behind us here, that's been, let's call it my Sunday drive.
Yeah, that's experimental.
Experimental, 5 years, built my own fuel tank, changed diffs, changed brakes, do it all properly.
Yep.
And it's a cruiser.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Now, I'll probably reiterate, when you started doing the modifications and putting a 5 litre in it, that's when Commodores, even with a V8, were worth fuck all.
Absolutely.
So you can get them nowadays, it's probably a little bit
harder,
more expensive to buy a 5 litre, but obviously still.
I think we're buying a wagon. We picked the wagon because of the gearing and things like that,
yep.
and we were buying them for $2,000.
Yeah, right.
A whole car.
Yeah.
We'd wrecked the car for $2,000, and we got a motor and gearbox for free.
Yeah.
So we make our own engine mounts. We got them all engineered, got them all passed, and then, you know, basically we can pull a truck apart in 3 hours. Yep. Guards off, bonnet off, motor out,
yep.
and we're there, all ready to go.
Nice.
The other thing that you want to look at is obviously this is a metal bumper, but if you look at all the other trucks, we make plastic bumpers because you couldn't get them. We make plastic hubcaps because you couldn't get them. Yes, they are chrome, and the indicators, the eyebrows over the dash, little things like that because I know how to do moulds because of cornice and all that type of thing.
So when he says he's done it, Phil has created all these things that you couldn't get. You basically made your own little mini production line to put out these cars.
Yes.
Trucks, I should say. And one other thing, I'll just quickly rewind a little bit. So this is the Bedford, which is basically a Pommy truck in it.
Yes.
And they are the same platform as the Dodge International share it?
No.
Oh,
Bedfords came from England, obviously, Vauxhall. Yep. All of these trucks were assembled here at Woodville.
Right.
And they basically came over in a box.
Okay.
And the only thing that changed was the chassis rails.
Right.
And the guards. So the J1 to J3 has 16-inch rims.
Yep.
As soon as you go to J4, 5, 6 and 7, they go to 20 or 22-inch rims.
Yep.
And the guards go this way and the grille goes that way.
Righto. Oh,
But
okay,
I just love this look.
I'm just getting confused. I thought, so it's the International Dodge are the same, but they're a different platform.
Platform, a completely different platform.
Cool. All right, sweet. When you first started, they obviously they were not brand new, but they weren't that old, as old as they are now. But obviously, as time went on, the drivability become probably, I assume, a little bit long in the tooth as well.
Oh,
so
look, we've changed steering. We've done a lot of modifications, but it's a $20,000 exercise for me.
Yeah.
Even today.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, paint the truck ourselves, a couple of grand for upholstery, $4 grand for chroming.
Yeah.
Find the motor, the gearbox, do it all yourself. Buy a brand new Toyota.
Oh.
40, 50 grand.
Yeah.
So that's how I've ended up with, 6 in the fleet.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So now we're at the fun one where Phil's basically upped the ante just to try and have a bit of fun with one beyond street duty. So what have you done under here, mate?
Okay, so this is a VN Commodore. So I think technically it was a 304.
Right. Yep.
Stroke to 355. Thanks to Harrop, they supplied the supercharger. Natred built the radiator and all the stuff for us. Adelaide Precious Metals supplied the firewall, obviously.
Yeah. Are you Thermo fans?
Yes, they are. So, man who knows his Falcons.
The go-to for aftermarket seem to be.
Yeah, so this has been we started this in 2017. I'd never sprayed a truck before. Jim Frost, because this used to be Speedway Autos where they did all the painting. I was going to ask you about the shop that we're in as well. We'll have to talk about that after. So I had a crack at spraying guards and under the bonnet and everywhere else no one else sees. So,
come out good.
Yeah,
beautiful.
So and that's the most enjoyable part. We built the tray ourselves. The roll bar, which it's not, it's just a luggage bar, I don't know what you really call it. But to make it look good and everything like that. Did the upholstery ourselves, very, very comfortable to sit in, drives beautiful, smooth, with a nice bit of power to it.
So what's basically so you got the stroker, did you have to run like obviously low compressions for the boost?
Yeah.
And then with the charger on it, you've had it tuned?
No, that happens on the 27th of this month.
Okay,
it will be matte.
Yep.
So I'll start it up afterwards. So they're little things you do. And
now, have you got a ballpark of what you've been told you should expect with this combo in regard to power output?
It will be 600.
Yeah, okay, nice.
Yes, it'll be around that. You know, you can tune it to the nth degree and most probably get 700. No. This is just to be sleepy. You can drive.
Because Phil's busy, he's got a lot of work on. He's got to get the jobs between jobs. He's got to be in a hurry. So this is going to get you there for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
That's awesome. No, we'd love to hear it start.
We'll start it.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
been started for a week or two.
It looks awesome, man. This is sick. Sounds unreal. That wine is just something else, isn't it?
It is. Sure is.
Sweet. Now, well, I'll be really looking forward to seeing how that comes out. That's getting tuned by Paul Pablo.
Yes.
Paul Pablo Motors. You guys have seen him on the channel before. It should be interesting to see. We'll have to do a follow-up, I reckon, to see how this goes.
Yeah. There's always learning curves, getting the automatic to be in sync with the motor, and there's always something,
Turbo 700?
Turbo 700.
With a cable overdrive?
Cable overdrive.
Yeah.
So
I actually bought one of those for my Dodge to do a conversion years ago. Never used it, so I've actually got one. Maybe I'll use it on something else, another project. But the cable overdrive is the hard thing. When you start getting new transmissions,
absolutely.
Then you're right on the border of electronics, and that's when it's out of the window.
That's when it's out of the league for anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody who's an enthusiast, I think it's like, really, well, you might as well just buy a new car.
Yeah, that's it. So awesome. I'm going to show you the factory options.
From that to that. Original 214 petrol.
Oops.
The gearbox has got the thing on the side so you can put a tipper on it.
Oh yeah, like a PTO.
Yeah, PTO.
That's unreal.
Maximum speed. This I know for a fact this truck was bought for Brimblecones to run their joinery around Adelaide. And maximum speed, 73 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, wow.
And it's revving its guts out.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I think the diff's 5.7.
Yeah.
So
it was made for getting from A to B, getting there slowly, but it's going to 100% get there every time.
yeah, absolutely. I
And
went out to
still-
Angle Vale in it, and let me tell you, everybody's flying past me as I'm doing 70 kilometres an hour.
Yeah. I feel like what's the like I'm like in my Datsun.
Yeah.
That's like you ring its necks at like 70 or 80, but
Yeah,
it'll just keep motoring all day long.
that's it.
No, awesome. All right, so outside, it's a bit noisy out there, so we'll stay inside. This is the first truck that I met you on. I actually met Phil when I was doing my Whitewall tyres back in the day. We're probably going back 10 years now. And he called me out on site to do a set of Whitewalls on this Bedford, and I'm thinking, what the hell have I got myself into? I remember we had all sorts of issues turning those wheels, because he's got... just give us a quick rundown on the setup on the rear.
20 by 15s.
Yep. So what's the
20
width?
high,
Yep.
15 wide.
15 wide. I don't even know what that bloody equals in metric, but
I don't know either.
400. That's over 400, isn't it?
425.
425. That's a lot of tyre. And my little tyre machine was having all sorts of trouble, but we ended up getting through it. And I kept your fleet whitewalled for quite a few years until I gave it away, and I think Phil gave up. But the combo on this, you've ended up using 2 F-truck bodies, tubs to get the length.
Yep.
And so was this one of the first ones you did?
One of the first ones I did.
Yeah.
And in the back, it's fully carpeted, full of press metal, so it doesn't get scratched.
Yeah.
Hence why it's so much longer and all the rest. So you put tools in it,
Yeah.
load up with metal. It's 100% dry in there with the tonneau on it, which is what you've got to do because you don't want to get it wet. And it's a perfect workhorse.
And let me reiterate, this is 100% Phil's daily driver. This is not just your fancy park my car at the front. This is it. Power steering, air conditioning, runs straight LPG, so it's somewhat fuel efficient in today's climate.
Yeah, it is.
And it's got all the bells, whistles. And if you actually look at all the trucks, that you can tell the same formula, slightly different on all of them. We've got their own little touch, but that was sort of almost like the and that's still going strong, and it looks awesome. So
yes,
I love that thing.
Been in it for 35 years.
Yeah, right. And it looks mint. But obviously you've done a little bit.
Oh yeah, I've done it a few
way.
times.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it looks awesome. And what did I ask you? So you said you're doing your own paint.
Yep.
Who generally does if you need a respray?
I can't respray anything. Well,
who's your go-to guy?
Now I use all car classics on Torrens Road.
Right.
Obviously, this is where they all were sprayed.
We're going to
but
touch
Jimmy,
on that after.
well, Jimmy retired at 70. He started here when he was 15 or 17 or something.
Yeah.
And worked here till he was 70. Walked out the door, hasn't been back since.
Yeah, okay. No, I don't blame him. And what about your trim? Because I know your trim's all
Days Road Motor Trimmers. Phil down there, he does it all. It's a marine as well as a car. And he knows what I want.
Yeah, you just ask him for the Phil special.
Yep.
And he gives you the...
Well, there's a few companies. You can go to RSA, which is the rubber extrusion place at Lonsdale.
Yeah, okay.
And you say, I'm doing a Bedford up. And because he knows the Bailey channels, the piping and everything, he'll say to you, that'll cost you $1,365, and he gives you a box and everything's in there.
Yeah, it's like a little kit.
You know, same as Days Road.
It actually makes me want to build one, because it's like, I just have to ask you, give me the kit, and it's just,
go for it,
awesome.
You know. And, you know, we broke a windscreen the other week, you know, they're only $250.
Yeah.
It's an old-fashioned glass window.
They probably run the same glass for bloody 45 years.
Yeah. So it makes it affordable. That's the big thing. It does make it affordable.
Okay, so we've got to ask you, Phil, how did you end up in these sheds? I did actually come here once.
Yes.
Early on.
Yeah, you did when Jimmy still had it.
And it looked very, very different.
Oh, very different.
Yeah.
This used to be called Speedway Autos. The reason why, because down the laneway just there was into the pit of Speedway,
Right.
Rolly Park. So we're not even 50 metres from Rolly Park. When I first came here in 1977, when I did my apprenticeship, around the corner, there used to be ethanol sold here with 2 petrol Bowsers.
Wow.
This was the spray side. That side is the crash repair shop as such.
Yeah.
There used to be Lukey mufflers out the back.
Oh yeah.
So
a lot of history in this.
This shed, what we're looking at, 1936. That's actually a carport, even though over the years it's been filled in. That's 1949.
Yeah, right.
So that's how old it is. And we've got some aerial photographs of this place, and it's pretty spectacular to see with old Rolly Park there and everything. Awesome. So to this day, people come in here and they're looking for the plaque from Rolly Park, which is in the middle of Burley Griffin Drive over there. And they come in and then they'll have magazines and things like that. I've been left magazines, which I've got in the drawers. So I try to keep all that history.
Yeah.
Because one day, when I'm passed away, someone will still have it.
They must lose it when they realise that.
Oh, absolutely. They when they see this, they just,
This, I remember, it was just like basically a rickety tin shed, dust as far as the eye can see, parts and
Bondo
cars fucking everywhere, and what you've done with it is unreal.
Yeah, and Jimmy did some really fabulous work out.
Yeah, I know. Not to knock the place at all. It was just a typical.
Yeah.
It was an old, true blue bloody workshop, and now
absolutely.
It's just an awesome. Well, there's a bit of workshop in the backyard, in the back there, but obviously a different caliber of work. And now Phil specialises in pressed metal. So I have touched on a bit of your stuff before in More Than a House on that channel where we're doing a reno, and I've used a bit of your stuff I think on some of my cars here and there. But yeah, awesome. Thanks for the tour, and I think we've covered everything.
I think so. Yep.
I think we might have to do a bit of a recap once you've got some.
Come down when I get it working right.
Like a bit of a scoot naturally.
Yeah.
So.
Put the GoPro on the outside and let's see what it does.
Yeah, definitely. And anyone want to do some renos, come down and see Phil at Australian Pressed Metal, which is at
25th Street, Brompton.
This showroom is freaking amazing, and what Phil doesn't know about renos and making things look good isn't worth knowing.
Thanks, Mark.
Alright guys, so thanks for joining me for another episode of the Iron Empire. A huge thank you to Phil for sparing some time. He is one busy boy, and as you can see, that is an amazing workshop with an awesome fleet of trucks, and an absolute credit to him to keeping them on the road for so many years and keeping it true. Literally all his workers and himself running those things as dailies. Absolutely awesome. Hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like this video if you did. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think of the Bedfords. Also, check out the online store if you want to support the channel. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on another one. Cheers, guys.